Journalist Hangout. If you just joined us, by the way, let's move straight to our fourth and final conversation. As peace is gradually returning to Kaduna State, northwest Nigeria, the efforts of Governor Sani in that regard are beginning to draw commendation. The Bishop of Catholic Diocese of Sokoto, Reverend Father Hassan Kukah, has commended Governor Sani's initiatives aimed at stabilising the state. During a visit to the state, Father Kukah, who also doubles as the Pro-Chancellor of the Federal University of Applied Sciences, Kachia, applauded the governor for his support in making the university a reality. He called for more government's intervention in infrastructure, land expansion, utility and security. So, the bishop, the highly respected Bishop Hassan Kukah, has lauded Governor Sani, talking about his efforts in bringing stability to Kaduna State. But talk to me, what do you think Governor Sani is doing differently, to bring that much-needed peace and stability to the state?
I think one good thing he has done from the obvious is that he tried to look at where his predecessor fell short, and he decided to, right the wrongs in that area.
Especially in southern Kaduna.
Especially in southern Kaduna. And another thing I think he has done well is also to consolidate on some of his achievements too. And I think that's the way to go. If you come into government and you cannot beat the record of your predecessor, you're as good as wasting people's time. And coming from Father Kukah, I think that's where the story is. Because we've been hearing these commendations from different people, from ECWA, from different religious leaders who are very comfortable. Kukah is very, very critical.
True.
Kukah can have a dinner with you now and he will still hit you hard while on that dinner table.
Absolutely.
So coming from him is not to be taken for granted. So it speaks volume that whatever Sani is doing is not propaganda. By the way, we don't even see him as somebody who spends so much money in the media to project his image. It is his work that is speaking for him.
And he's speaking loudly.
And it's his people who have been very, very critical of government, both at the state and at the federal, commending him. So that's the meaning of change. That's the meaning of impact. When it is when they said it's only a fool that doubts a proof. There are no proof to say that this man is working.
Absolutely.
And there's no other way to describe it. Southern Kaduna has always been in the news for the wrong things. In fact, we got tired of reporting Southern Kaduna at the time because it's not happy. We are not happy reporting that this has been killed, this has been killed. And so it's to tell you that there's so much about leadership. Sure. That's the lesson. There's so much about leadership. Oh, the problem has been there. What's that war again? Zango Kataf, all kinds of issues. People will tell us, hey, it's not today. But somebody is curbing it. Somebody is bringing the non-kinetic approach. People are beginning to live together, and we can only support
Look at Berengwari, for example.
Yeah. Exactly.
What's going on there?
Yeah, exactly.
We saw BKO doing, and it was even it was safe.
Yes. Exactly.
Exactly. So the president even talked about it. So
it's just for us to encourage him. Let's learn the model from him. Irrespective, there's no doubt that he's almost as good as retaining his seat. But beyond that, let us learn the principle. Let's learn the strategy from this man. And
sustaining the momentum. How will you advise the government?
Well, I want to believe that he has his work cut out for him. Because first is to maintain peace. And in Kaduna, the major area that seems to be a bit volatile then was southern Kaduna.
Absolutely.
And now that is pushing infrastructure and projects to that area, the state is beginning to have that, calm. For the federal government to thought it wise to, situate a federal university in Kachia, in Kaduna, it means that the governor would have gone to meet the president to tell him that we need something there so that there will be that equitable resources distribution in that area. You understand? Because before they used to have universities in other places. But now a federal university is being put there and they have a pro-chancellor who is a critic of any administration.
Of any administration.
You understand?
In fact, he still gave it hard to the
Yeah,
president.
to the president recently.
Easter Sunday.
Yes, recently. So it means that the governor now knows that, okay, now that I have this kind of person beside me and commending me, it means I need to give him everything. I need to give that institution all the support.
Now, talking about support now, the bishop also called for support.
Yeah.
You know, he's the pro-chancellor of the university.
So, because it's a new university.
And the good part is the governor also said, my doors are always open, showing that he's ready to support.
Exactly, because yes, sir. Because if you look at it, that's particular, for that institution, you know, to become what they really need it to. First, do you know when you have a university, what it does?
That's true.
To create jobs economically.
True.
That area,
development in that area.
you know, that area alone will be open. People will start saying, they want to go to Southern Kaduna to go to school. I can from Lagos here go to school in Southern because it's peaceful. You understand? That is one. Then now NUC, I heard that NUC has also accredited about 18, courses. So it means people can still go there, and school, create jobs. Local economies will be, will improve.
Exactly.
You understand? So the governor needs to now say, okay, how do I now help these people? The first thing, Father Kukah was saying, they need utility vehicles, they need, roads. So roads, very important. So the governor will also have to open his doors and begin to look for how to make, good roads into that institution. It's a federal institution. I know the federal government will also assist, but he can also start, which he has already been doing because he left off from where Nancy Herufai left, and he has continued. But this one is now looking and facing Southern Kaduna, which to me is a plus. Because look at that story that DKO did. He opened my eyes to so many things. This is a region that nobody, during the election, it was only the president, this president that went there. And he went there in the night. And if they tell you how he got there, you will be amazed. But look at now, BKO went there and he came back. And
he said he even went to a place that without security.
To show that. So it shows that the governor is doing something and the people there are happy because this is a region that was abandoned completely for 8 years. And now the people are happy that at least there's a federal presence. So once you have a federal university, that is federal presence.
Obviously, the government must be doing something different to achieve that kind of result.
Let's stay more on this idea of federal university in a place. It's a massive strategy. If you look at, that has always been the style. If you look at the school he finished from, Agowoye, there is no, the idea was not to situate a accommodation within the school. No. The students get accommodation
around, exactly.
And when the students are on holiday, it's
the economy just
or
they go on strike.
Weekends,
the economy
so
just
that's the level of improvement. That's the level of development that will come into that area. So kudos to, and that's why sometimes when you say some of these governors are working with the center, they know what they are doing. They want this place. But the good news again, so that Asuko does not think I'm justifying Okowa's defection, this man is not even looking at the party you come from. You will get all the federal support as long as you are part of Nigeria. So it's just an atomic.
So it's for everybody.
And that's a good one. Not looking at, are you of my party or not? No. You get what you deserve. You get everything.
No, of course.
Absolutely. Well, it's a fine place for us to leave it. Asuko James, thank you so much.
Thank you
for doing this beautiful evening. Kaidi.
Always a pleasure.
Appreciate you. Thank you so much. And also to the gentlemen and women in the back room, thank you so much for doing this production, making it a success. And also on Journalist Hangout today, you can watch the repeat broadcast of this episode tonight at 11. Join us on Sunday from 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. for Journalist Hangout on Sunday. We're on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I am Benga Oreshegun. Bye for now, and God bless Nigeria. Beyond the Headlines is up next. Have a beautiful one.